Okay, let's continue working with Debian packages. On the previous section, I showed you what is the concept of the repositories, and now we are going to actually use them to install packages, remove packages, and everything. Say I want to work with my beloved program Tmax. If you don't know Tmax, search for Jadi Tmax, or I will try to create a link here. It is very cool software. Tmax, I don't have it. Which Tmax? There is no Tmax. So I can install it using sudo apt-get install Tmax. Sudo is because I need root access to copy files to the system. So I will just say apt-get install Tmax. What it does, it will go, give me a second to fix the, it is fixed. What is Tmax? No. What? Okay, it is fixed. What happens when I say sudo apt-get install Tmax? Apt-get needs to install something. So it goes into that cache I showed you, var cache, package bin cache, will look into it and says, okay, I know there is a software which is called Tmax in this specific repository. So it will checks all the dependencies and will tell me that, okay, if you want to install Tmax, following additional packages will be installed, these two packages. So what you are doing will install these three new packages because Tmax has a dependency to these two. To do so, you generally need 500 kilobytes of software to be downloaded, but I already have all of them in my cache. This is not the cache I showed you. This is in the archive directory. Let me go there and show you it works. If you go to var cache apt, this is the cache of the repositories. But there is one directory which is called archives, and all the deb packages I ever used are here. Not ever. They will be deleted after some time or some specific size or whatever. But this is a cache of what I've downloaded before, because I have downloaded, I have installed Tmax recently, so I still have the cache there. So if I say apt-get install Tmax, it will tell me, no, you need to be root to do this. Okay, do this with sudo. And it says, okay, I need 0.5 MB of files, but I don't need to actually download something I have already done. Should I continue? Should I continue, yes or no? Y or Y is in capital letter. So if I push enter, this will be the default. Why it's asking this? Because I have told it to install the Tmax, but it technically needs, very funny, to install this and this too. So it's double checking that I'm installing more things than what you asked for. Are you sure? I say yes. It will go download them one by one, prepares to unpack the dependencies, unpack the dependency, preparing, selecting, preparing, unpacking, setting up all the dependencies, and at the end setting up the Tmax, then checking some DB, whatever, and now Tmax is installed. If I do a Tmax, now you can run it. This green shows you that I'm inside the Tmax. I can do an exit, I'm out of the Tmax. So what we did, sudo apt-get install Tmax, and it was very easy. It installed Tmax, all the dependencies, all the configurations, everything. I could just simulate it. I could say apt-get install -s VLC. Just simulate installing the VLC. It says, okay, if you were installing the VLC, I would have done these steps. I would go here, I would, where is it? This is it. It says, okay, if you wanted to install VLC, I had to install all these dependencies because VLC is a huge software. Also, I would suggest you to install these additional packages too, suggested packages. then it would say, okay, so now I'm installing these. This means 106 newly installed packages. And then I'm installing this, installing that. It just simulates that, okay, this works. Sometimes you need it to check if your package is correct and everything. What is more useful is sudo apt-get install -- download only VLC. I say, okay, install VLC, but download only. Don't actually install. What I need to do is, I don't want you to actually install the VLC. I want you to just download all the needed packages. So this way, it's just a normal installation. Will tell you I have to download 67 megabytes. And do you agree? I said yes. And it will start to go to the repository, download the files, and it's super slow, so I will break it. Why this is useful? As you saw, it was super slow. So if your manager tells you that we have an activity window from 3 in the morning till 3:15 in the morning, in that time I can bring the servers down and you should install VLC during that time. Oh, it might be slow. So during the day I can do an apt-get install -- download VLC, and it will download all the required files. So during the night when I do this, nothing more should be downloaded. One reason. Maybe you just want to check and see if all the files are there or whatever. Or you just want to pass your exam. So we had the install, we had the simulate install. You can see sometimes in Linux world we use the one letter switches like -s for simulate. Sometimes we use the long form with 2 dashes. This is not a rule. This is just a convention that most softwares agree on, and some don't, like tar. We also have this download. We can go to the temp. I can say apt-get download tmux. It will only download the tmux package, not the dependencies, nothing else. Why internet is like this? Huh? Okay, something strange is going on, but no problem, it will be downloaded. This way I'm just downloading one Debian package, not the dependencies, nothing, because I may need that specific Debian package for something. So this way I just downloaded the deb file of the tmux, no dependencies and nothing else, just the deb package. If you wanted to remove the packages, you can just guess sudo apt-get remove tmux. Space had an issue. So this way I removed my package. It says I want to remove tmux. You agree? I say yes. You remember when we installed the tmux, it installed 2 other dependencies too. Now when I'm removing it, it removes only the tmux itself. So these remain without any reason. That's why you have this auto remove. Sudo apt-get auto remove. This automatically removes whatever is installed because of other dependencies and is not needed anymore. So I say, okay, auto remove this. So you know about the tmux, you know about the auto remove. You can do apt-get auto remove tmux, only auto remove real tmux related stuff, or general auto remove. Now we know about installing. During install, you were able to to simulate, to download only the packages. You know about the apt-get download. Now let's see how we can search for a specific package. I can do apt-cache, will work with that cache file of the repositories, and I will say apt-cache search for VLC. It will show you whatever package which has VLC in its name. There is a more modern tool which is called apt. So you will get rid of apt-get, apt-cache, apt blah blah, and you can do everything with only apt. Apt install something, apt search something, and as you can see, it's a little bit cooler and more modern. This can search for specific files, and also you can use double quotes to search for things which has space in them. So this was most of the things, and let's go for upgrade. You remember when we did apt-get update, what we were doing was the system was reading all the sources in the sources list and that directory and creating a cache of them, nothing else. But say I have a VLC version 16.2 installed on my computer, and in some point the maintainers of my operating system, here it's Ubuntu, decide to upgrade their VLC version to 16.3. When I do an apt update or apt-get update, the system reads all these repositories and will write them into this cache. Nothing happens. But if I say apt-get install VLC, the system will go look into this cache, will see that, oh, we have a newer version of VLC, although VLC is installed. So it will install the next version of the VLC. So this is kind of upgrade. apt-get install VLC will install VLC or upgrade VLC if an upgrade is available. But I have much more softwares installed. If I want to check all of these with this cache, and if something is upgradable, do an upgrade, I can say apt-get upgrade. Remember, when I was doing apt-get update, it was reading the repositories and updating the cache with this repository, writing whatever in this repository in this cache. But when I do apt-get upgrade, it compares the installed software with this cache. If something is upgradable, it will go from the repositories, will download the upgrade and will upgrade them. So if you want to do a complete system upgrade, you can do sudo apt-get update to update your cache based on the repository. So you know you have the latest data that the developers or maintainers of this distribution have created. And then you can do sudo apt-get upgrade, which actually checks all the installed software with the cache, which mirrors the repository because you just did an update, and says, okay, all these programs can be upgraded to a newer version. Do you want to do it? This much data should be downloaded. 138 upgrades will happen. From them, 19 are security, and only 1 megabyte of additional disk space will be used because the upgrades are replacing the old ones. So you don't need much new spaces. So that's it. But 3 are not upgraded. Sometimes you need a dist upgrade to upgrade the whole distribution. Some softwares are newer in this version, but it will tell you that if you haven't, this is the same case. They say, okay, you had version 17.2, but now I have version 18. Normally, I won't manually upgrade this. This can be checked like a checkbox by the maintainers and say, if you want to do this, go with dist upgrade, which is a more strong upgrade. It will check for that you have all the dependencies and everything, and then does the upgrade. Anyway, so you know the upgrade. And let's talk about dpkg as the last thing we need to know. Dpkg is a more lower level package manager. As you saw, we had this deb file. Let me download another deb file. Sudo apt-get download bazaar. Bazaar is a older kind of equivalent of Git. So now I have a deb package. If I want to install this, I can use apt, or I can use dpkg. But dpkg will work with the deb files and not the repositories. So I can say dpkg-i install bazaar. It will only install this one. It says, okay, you don't have required super user privilege. Now I have installed this. But there is a problem. It says this bazaar which you install depends on bzr. However, package bzr is not installed, and the dpackage won't install it by itself. So now I have a broken system. I have installed something with a dependency, but I don't have the dependency. I have to go and install brz by myself. Brz might need other things. It's complicated. So I can do an apt-get install-f. Fix broken. This is something which used a lot. This will look into your system, will see the broken packages without needed dependencies and install their dependency if you have privileges. It says, okay, something is broken. Suggested packages are these. So let's do it. It will install all the required packages which are not present in the system. It's very common. You will get one deb, you will install it with -i, with dpkg-i, that deb, what I just did, and then you do an apt install-f. As you can see, in many cases where I'm using apt-get, apt-cache, I can use just apt, which is a newer and fancier tool. So this is dpkg. Dpkg has different switches. Some of them are super useful. C will show you the contents of the package. Capital C will audit your system for broken installed packages. --configure we'll see later. It's very nice. -i will install, as you saw. Capital I show information about this package. So if I wanted information of the package of tmux, I could say dpkg-i capital tmux and it will show me. And you have things like -l, which is very important and used in many cases. So you can say dpkg-l will show you all the installed package in your system. So you can see what is installed in your system. You can search for something and make sure if you have some specific package or not. Capital L will list files. What capital P does is it purges the package. Normally, if you install something, for example tmux, it will contain some binaries, some help documentations in the /shared docs, and some configurations. I think tmux doesn't have a configuration, but in general, if you install something, it might have some configurations. You may change these configurations, configure it for yourself, and after a while you remove tmux. Normally, if you do apt remove tmux, it will only remove these and these, but will keep your configurations. But if you do apt purge tmux or dpkg-p tmux, it will not just remove these, but will remove these. So it will purge it completely. -r is for remove status and other things. So, for example, you can say dpkg contents of bzr package. It says, okay, these are the configurations for bzr. You can say status of bzr. This is the status of bzr. And one important part is installed size, suggest conflicts. Where is the installed? Suggest this. This is it. Status, the installed OK config files. It can be installed. Or -l is important, will show you what files bzr have installed on your computer. dash capital L, like list. So it says these are installed by BZR. You can do it vice versa. You can say dash capital S. So you can say dpkg dash capital S, who installed this file. It says, okay, this file is installed by mplayer package. Here with the capital L, we were saying what is installed by BZR. Here we say who installed this. Okay, so as the last part, let's talk about reconfiguring packages. When you install a package on Debian, it will copy the files inside the package, which are inside the package, to specific parts, for example, to the binary parts, to the shared docs, documentations, or configurations in etc. And before it or after it, it may run some scripts which configures this package. For example, my example comes from TZ data, which is time zone data. It asks you what is your time zone. Sometimes you need to do this configuration after you have installed a package for any reason. Something is changed, you want to reconfigure something. In that case, you have to check the dpkg-reconfigure command. So I can do sudo dpkg-reconfigure, for example, TZ data. It will run this package's configuration program. It says I'm in America, I'm in New York, for example. Easy. And I believe that's it. If you want, check the booklet on Linux first and have a look at some of the options. For example, on apt-get, you have auto clean, check, clean, dist upgrade, install, remove, source, update, and upgrade. There is also one, I believe, show or info. For example, I can say apt info tz data. It will show me the information of the TZ data. I will add this to the booklet, it's important. It will tell you what's the package name, what's the version, priority, what section, origin comes from, who are the maintainers, depends on these ones, and this is the description of what it does. And for apt-cache, you have depends, shows the dependencies, package names, show all installed package names, search, show package stats, and unmet dependencies. There are also other tools which you can use. There used to be a tool called aptitude, which was very useful, but nowadays people use apt most of the time because apt is more general, can do apt search, apt install, apt purge, and whatever you want. And there are also even more tools. For example, most distributions, if you have installed them graphically, have one package manager, graphical package manager. Some people prefer this, but your servers won't have a graphical mode most of the times. And also it's easier to say sudo apt install VLC rather than running a graphical program, going to the search box, searching for VLC, then clicking something. This is faster. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. It was long, but it's good to know details. I was Jody. Please subscribe if you have seen up to here. Love you.